Let's pray. Mighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor the servants whom you've been pleased about the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings set upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters of depression in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county, of those who seek you compared to watch. Can you take us through the order of the day?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Third Assembly, 5th session, order paper number 393 of Wednesday, 18th March, 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next.
Order number 3.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Order.
Order number 7, statements.
Time. Yes, Honorable Dede.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Understanding order 41, arise for a statement to at least request, if as a chair of Water Environmental Climate Change, request if I can have a meeting with the elected members so that we chat way forward concerning the FLOCA project. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Your statement is not complete. You are requesting for a meeting when? Where?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was requesting that after the plenary, if you can meet with the elected leaders within the today after the plenary, so that we meet with the elected leaders, we discuss way forward on concerning the local projects within the assembly. Thank you.
Statement time. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of the report of PICPAC Committee on examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kisumu County, receiver of revenue for the financial year 2024-2025 by Honorable Kennedy Uko. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable James Were.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on behalf of the chair, Honorable Kennedy Uko, who is away on official duty, to move a motion that this House adopts the report of the adoption of the reports of PICPAC Committee on the examination of report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Kisumu County Receiver of Revenue for financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Public Accounts and Investment Committee, and pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders 188, I wish to present to this House the report of the committee on the audited financial statement of receiver of revenue for the financial statement financial year 2024-2025. Honorable Speaker, the receiver of revenue is under Department of Finance, and at the County Executive Committee level, the receiver of revenue is represented by the County Executive Committee member of Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT, who is responsible for the general policy and strategic direction of the receiver of revenue. The receiver of revenue is designated as a receiver by the County Executive Committee member for Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT in accordance with Section 157 of the PFM Act 2012. Mr. Speaker, the principal activity of the receiver of revenue is to collect revenue and remit to the County Revenue Fund. On Speaker, as such, it is one of the entities subject to the audit by the Office of Auditor General in line with Article 229 to 4B of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Mr. Speaker, the Public Accounts and Investment Committee is the watchdog committee that examines Auditor General's report laid before this House to ensure probity, efficiency, and effectiveness in the use of public resources. The committee is established pursuant to the Standing Orders 188 to examine the accounts showing appropriations of sums voted by this House to meet public expenditure, and of such other accounts laid before the House as a committee may think fit. This ensures implementations of Article 229/8 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 on reports submitted to this House by Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, the committee held 3 sittings during which it received both written and oral evidence from the accounting officer on audit queries raised by the Auditor General on the financial statements of receipt of revenue for the financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General's opinion on the financial statement of the receiver of revenue for the financial year 2024-2025 was a qualified opinion, an improvement from the disclaimer opinion which was issued by Auditor General in the previous financial year. Mr. Speaker, under the basis for the qualified opinion, the Auditor General raised a number of issues on the financial statements of the Kisumu County receiver of revenue financial year 2024-2025. First, there was a non-compliance with the transitional IPSAS template, a matter to which the committee has recommended an onward adherence to Section 163, subsection 1 of the PMF Act 2012, and the PFM Regulation 2015 and Section 87, which states that at the end of each financial year, the county treasury shall, for the county government, consolidate the annual financial statements in respect of all county government entities in formats to be prescribed by the Accounting Standard Board. Second, the Auditor General highlighted an issue on revenue from rent of county kiosks and stalls, which amounted to Kenya shillings 14,100. The revenue collected from stalls appeared to be very low, given that in Kisumu town center, there are quite a number of markets like Chichwa, Mandeleo, Ouru, and others in the sub-counties which have stalls for lease. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, Kisumu County government reported plot rent of 1,239,944, but register and details of the plots that generated plot rent were not provided. During the committee deliberations, the management attributed to the low collection from rent of county kiosks to unresolved conflicts in the markets. Third, Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General highlighted the property rent declined sharply from 20,000 Kenya shillings 20,447, 20,447,471 in previous year to 6,183,882, representing 70% decline. The management did not give justifiable reason during audit at the time of committee deliberation behind the decline. Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General further raised several issues under the basis of qualified opinion, including understatement of other fines, penalties, and forfeiture fees, overstatement of administration control fees and charges, unsupported revenue under physical planning and development, and unsupported revenue from building plans approvals. Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General's report also covered matters on the lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resources, as well as the effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and governance. Under these areas, several issues were raised, including non-collection of late penalties for single business permit fees, failure by the physical planning and development function to issue official permits for approval building plans, failure to maintain an approved and updated valuation roll, non-automation of public health services fee revenue, appointment of receiver of revenue, weakness in the advertisement processes and general internal control, weakness in the revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised from the financial statements point to the pervasive weakness in the revenue administration, internal controls, and governance system within the county. They reflect gaps in the enforcement of existing laws and regulation, inadequate automation and integration of revenue system, poor record keeping, and ineffective oversight mechanisms, all of which expose the county to revenue leakages, inefficiencies, and loss of public resources. To address these challenges, Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends that the county treasury and the receiver of revenue institute robust internal control frameworks, fully automate and integrate all revenue streams, and ensure strict enforcement of applicable laws, including the collection of all due penalties and fees. Further, Mr. Speaker, management should maintain comprehensive and update records such as permits, revenue registers, and strengthen oversight through regular audits and monitoring. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the specific recommendations herein, the committee further submits that to this House the following general corrective measures aimed at strengthening financial management, enhancing accountability, and ensuring compliance with the applicable laws and regulations to help the receiver of revenue achieve its objectives. Mr. Speaker, general recommendations. 1. Strengthen capacity and training. The county treasury should facilitate continuous professional training for revenue and finance officers from the Public Finance Management Act, Public Audit Act, International Public Sector Accounting Standards to enhance compliance and reporting accuracy. 2. Full automation of revenue system. That the county treasury should fast track the integration of all revenue streams, including land rates, property rent, hospital fees, and parking fees in the integrated revenue management system to ensure real-time reconciliation and minimize revenue leakages. Recommendation 3, establish robust internal control. That the county treasury develop and implement clear standard operating procedures for revenue collection, reconciliation, reporting, with mandatory periodic reviews by the internal audit. Recommendation number 4, enforce timely reconciliation and reporting. Institute a strict monthly reconciliation process between the cash book, bank statements, and IRMS reports, with sign-offs by both revenue officers and supervisors to enhance accuracy and transparency. Recommendation 5, develop a comprehensive revenue arrears recovery strategy. Create a structured arrears management framework that includes hedging analysis, insurance of demand notices, enforcement actions, and incentives for voluntary compliance to recover long-standing arrears. Recommendation 6, implement accountability and sanctions framework. Mr. Speaker, enforce clear accountability and measures, including administrative and legal actions against officers or agents who fail to remit collections or comply with financial regulations. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I hereby request that this House adopts this report of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the consideration of the Auditor General's report on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Receiver of Revenue Financial Year 2024-2025. And Mr. Speaker, may I call upon Honorable Nancy Matara to second. Thank you.
Honorable members, the motion adoption of the report of the PICPAC Committee on examination of the report of the Auditor General on financial statements on the financial statements of Kisumu County Receiver of Revenue for the year 2024-25 moved, seconded. I want now to propose a question, and I propose that the motion is open for debate. Honorable Nyaoke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've listened carefully to the presentation of Honorable Were on this report. And Mr. Speaker, I've picked on one item that is so conspicuous. That is item 3.9. Regarding the failure to maintain approved and updated valuation roll. Mr. Speaker, the committee in this report has explained to us that evaluation roll is a legally mandated register of rateable properties within the county, detailing ownership, location, tenure, acreage, and assigned value. Mr. Speaker, in the absence of this, we can be rest assured that the revenue in relation to the properties we have in the county cannot be commensurate to what we have, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at going down, you find that the management, after the concern of this committee, even after observing that, the management replies the committee by saying that indeed they are maintaining the updated valuation roll. Mr. Speaker, knowing very well that they actually don't have an updated valuation roll. And Mr. Speaker, we can also see that the revenue related to the same is growing lower and lower. Mr. Speaker, how I wish that we should take this one very seriously, because the revenue collection in this country has been a serious challenge. In fact, in all aspects, in all areas where we expect to generate revenue, you find there are serious challenges that are happening here and there. But Mr. Speaker, particularly in run rates, the infrastructure that we have should be able to give us maximum revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, it is astounding to note that the committee, even after doing the due diligence, even after several interrogations, they came out and observed that there is in fact a missing valid or updated valuation roll. But the management replies the committee and says, in fact, we have the updated valuation roll, and that is what we are maintaining, and that is what we are using to collect our revenues. Mr. Speaker, I think the challenge that the committee has given us here, the recommendation, should have been more express that if indeed they have this updated valuation roll, then they need to present it so that even this house can go through and see exactly what do we have in respect to that. Mr. Speaker, failure to that, we are still going to see again the future coming reports talking about the same thing. Mr. Speaker, it will only be fair for us to head somewhere that will support the adoption of this motion, because we are expecting to see quite a number of things, a number of recommendations that have been suggested by the committee to help us unravel more of the failure of the executive to reach the maximum or the expected amount of revenue that we are supposed to collect here and there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With that few remarks, I beg to support.
Yes, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute on the matter before us. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the report and the gaps that have been given, you might wonder why the report gave a qualified opinion. And that means that from where we are sitting, or where the county government is sitting, it means that we are so good on paperwork and the practicality part of it, we are doing zero. Mr. Speaker, this is a very major issue that is affecting our country. And if you can just take the report so lightly the way it has been given, with the usual recommendations, and we pass it the way it is, then it means that our revenue collection in this county will never improve, despite all the efforts that we are putting to enhance the revenue collection in this country. If you look at the report keenly, it gives us that the revenue that are being collected from rent of county kiosks and stalls, the amount that is indicated there, that is not the exact amount that the Kisumu County will be getting from the county kiosk and stalls that are spread across the town and the other parts of the country. What they're indicating here is 14,100 shillings, which in real case, we can get as much as possible from this stream of revenue collection. Again, if you look at the property rent, it's being reported that we have a decline of almost 70%. Mr. Speaker, I didn't expect this. At least we should even maintain the low incomes that we are getting, but getting a decline of almost 70% of what we've been getting before, that is giving us a red flag on what is happening in the collection of property rent. Again, there is no justifiable reason that is being given by the CCM on why there was a sharp decline on property rent. In most cases where we are supposed to be getting the revenue, what is being reported in our report, almost all of them are understatement. And the only place where there is overstatement is where we have the administrative cost. If we really mean business and we want the county of Kisumu to grow, Mr. Speaker, we need to take this report seriously and make sure that the given recommendations are implemented the way they have been given by the committee. Mr. Speaker, this is a clear indication that there is a weakness in revenue administration in Kisumu County. There is no internal controls, and there is weakness in governance system, within our county. And how I wish that with the recommendations that are being given here today, that the county of Kisumu is going to take them seriously, and we seriously need to see an enhancement in our revenue collection if we really want our county to grow. And we need to find a way of avoiding all the gaps that have been given in the report. Actually, to the executive, it's an improvement because they are moving from the last report was not a qualified opinion. There is an improvement in the audit report, and we should expect that if there is an improvement to the qualified opinion, we also expect that the revenues that are being collected within the Kisumu County are also improving. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I support the report, and I do expect that the recommendations given will be implemented and followed to the latter. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Bas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think from this report we can see the gaps in our revenue collection. And this report exposes systematic weaknesses in revenue collection and financial reporting, which highly highlights the leakages, inefficiency, and requiring agent administration and oversighting reforms. Mr. Speaker, from this report, we can see that from this report, we can see that non-compliance with the accounting standards. The financial statements were not prepared as per the required format. Secondly, there is the weakness in revenue management, inconsistency in reporting rent from stalls, kiosks, and plots. And lastly, the outstanding receivables, significant unpaid revenues indicate poor enforcement and follow-up system. So from this report, we can see these gaps. And this is why we've been not able to reach the set targets of revenue collections in this county. And this, I think, should be avoided so that as we move forward, we can make this county a great in revenue collection, and that will also help in development of our words. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the adoption of this report. Honorable Speaker, this is one report that members should look at keenly and should be a guiding document into how we can ensure that the development we put in our budget can be implemented. Honorable Speaker, This is Auditor General's report on receiver of revenue. Madam Speaker, we are struggling with on-source revenue as a county. And in the Auditor General's assessment of those accounts, even though he has given them a qualified opinion, but he has mentioned several areas that they were questioning. Madam Speaker, as a member of the committee, together with the Office of the Auditor, we invited the management of receiver of revenue, and we have put very good recommendations that if implemented, would really improve our own source revenue. Madam Speaker mentioned that I want to point out is on advertisements. My brother Honorable Koyo pronounces it as advertisement. Some of you who have no proper English like Okoyo say advertisement. I will go with Okoyo's advertisement. And very specific on that is on outdoor. The outdoor advertisements that we make in this county. Madam Speaker, when we were passing the finance bill some times back, we were informed that most of companies are running to our neighboring counties because we were charging high cost. This was coming from the executive. In this report, again, it's coming out that the reduction in outdoor advertisements, in the words of Honorable Gad, I will intermix advertisement and advertisement so that God can also be happy, that it has reduced because we reduced the charges of outdoor advertisements. At one point, we were told we were charging so high and people had to move out to other counties like Vihiga, Kericho, Homa Bay, Siaya. And now on this one, again, we are being told, you know, the revenue reduced because we reduced the charges. Honorable Speaker, the bottom line, if you look at those contradicting statements, it means there is somebody who is abusing the revenue that we get from outdoor. And that has to be followed up so that any advertisement that is done by businesses, the revenues that they pay can reach this county. And those revenues are what we use to do developments. For so long, people have not correlated the monies they pay, those small fees they pay, and the good roads that they can get when they are doing businesses, both from the farms and in town. If we cannot get those good roads, then it means there will be no reason to do any advertisement in this county. Honorable Speaker, on the city, at one point the assembly agreed on advice from the city manager that they could be able to collect more revenue than the revenue board was doing. But from this report, it's coming out clear that that is not possible. And even the revenue they collected, they could not explain from which revenue streams. And that's why the committee is recommending that the city gives a breakdown of the 146 million. At one point, I remember, Honorable Speaker, and I made a little noise about it. When revenue was handed to the city, and then they decided to subcontract somebody to manage the revenues at sports ground. And whether it was true, because I didn't see any paperwork, but it was mentioned in one of the meetings that the person who was given the whole of sports ground was only paying 150,000. That being the case, then it will be very hard for the city to break down those revenue streams so that they can tell us the monies that they collect are coming from what sources. Because if that happens, then it will be clearly known that we've been undercharging the person that is managing sports ground, Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground. Honorable Speaker, but going forward from this recommendation, we must insist so that we know how much from each revenue stream did the city get the 146 million, if I got the figure right, 146,191,570 to be exact. Honorable Speaker, I'll repeat because I know it's the most important. We must do all that it can to improve on our own source revenue. And this report tells us some of the things that we can do. We must always investigate the financial statements of this receiver of revenue so that we know their performance, and then we can enhance that performance. Honorable Speaker, so that it doesn't take so long and we wait for the auditor's report when it's too late. And I want to urge the Finance Committee that as we discuss this report, they need to make a demand that they get all the financial statements of the current year in time and the quarterly financial statement. They make the analysis in time so that we know our performance in revenue, and then we see what we can do. Otherwise, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I support the adoption of this report. Thank you.
Thank
you, Mr. Speaker, for this time. Mr. Speaker, mine will be very short. I was waiting for Honorable Seth to give his opinion because I'm a member of the committee. But Mr. Speaker, I found Seth not giving us the facts that we need to get as an house to adopt this report. Mr. Speaker, I've looked at the various recommendations from the committee, and I want to be very specific on Seth's advertisements. I want to call it advertisements. That, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the recommendations made on the issues of advertisements, it's very, very clear, and the recommendations are very good. Allow me to read the first and the second one. The first one is that the city manager submits to this house and the office of the auditor general a clear breakdown of the total of 146,191,570 shillings collected in respect to advertising in their various sub-revenue components within 30 days upon the adoption of this report. That's one. Two, that the city manager submits a status report on the recovery of the 5,737,397 shillings owed by non-compliant customers within a period of 14 days upon the adoption of this report. Mr. Speaker, that is very good for this house, and I support that we do that and we accept and adopt that report on that basis. But two, Mr. Speaker, if you go to the issue of the CCM member, finance, not having a receiver of revenue. Mr. Speaker, you are aware this county doesn't have a receiver of revenue that is appointed by the CCM member of finance. And the committee recommends, allow me to read again, that the CCM finance, ICT and planning, to appoint a receiver of revenue in line with section 157(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. Mr. Speaker, there is no timeline. If you read what the city manager was given, there was timelines in 30 days, in 14 days. If you go to the CCM member, it's now blank. He's just been given to recommend and appoint that receiver, even if it's 2034 or 2070. He doesn't have a timeline. Even if we adopt this report today, there's no timeline to the same. Again, the second recommendation, number 2, that in future, the management must adhere to the section of 157 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. Again, when will the management adhere to that act? It's not very clear. So So as we point fingers to other offices like the city manager, can we now put the ball where it belongs? Where we have a county running without a receiver of revenue being given a mandate to do the same. So we are here, we are talking about the city manager, we are talking about somebody acting as a receiver of revenue. And again, we don't want to put to task the person given the mandate, who is the CCM member for finance, to ensure that we have a receiver who we can call to this house to respond to these issues of revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that today the county is we are in the third quarter of the financial year. And already we are not even halfway of our own source revenue collection. Before we do all these things, we must know who is our receiver of revenue. We are being given a report to adopt today where the CCM finance is absolved of all its duties. It's not even given even a timeline to give us the receiver of revenue. But then a city manager who has just a section, a sub-revenue stream, is given timeline in terms of 14 days, in terms of 30 days. But somebody who holds the county revenue for the whole county, in the 8 sub-counties of Kisumu County, is given a leeway to do what he wants at any time that he wants it, without any timeline. I think if this house should stand up, we should stand up and put our feet down so that this issue of revenue is solved once and for all. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that almost half of the members in this house are out of this county on official duty on issue revenue, on source revenue, in another county to go and benchmark. Before we benchmark, can we listen to what we are adopting as a house? Because by adopting this report, we already gives the CCM member who is responsible for this revenue loss in this county a leeway of not acting in anything. And therefore, I oppose that we don't adopt this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes. Oh, now it's working. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Looking at the mood of this house, I think it is prudent I call the mover to reply. Thank you.
Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, let me sincerely thank these honorable members who have contributed to this debate, whether negative or positive. Mr. Speaker, this report for financial statement of Kisumu County receiver of revenue for the financial year ending 30th June 2025. The depth of your submissions made clearly demonstrates that this house there's commitment to prudent financial management and accountability. Mr. Speaker, going by the sentiments made by Honorable Gad, Mr. Speaker, I take note that a lot more is supposed to be injected, and it is still the prerogative of this house to ensure that the CCM finance and economic planning implement the report to the letter. Mr. Speaker, members have raised critical concerns regarding revenue leakages. And, Mr. Speaker, this was mentioned by Honorable Nyaoke, that report as analyze about the revenue leakages and weak internal controls that we have, the underperformance in on-source revenue, and delays in reconciliation and reporting. These concerns are valid and are indeed captured comprehensively in the committee report. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of revenue leakages and under collection, The committee is taking note of members concerned and reiterates that the recommendations made, particularly on sealing revenue loopholes, strengthening enforcement and expanding revenue bases, must be implemented without delay. And on automation and digitization, honorable members emphasize the need for robust, integrated revenue management system. The committee fully concurs and underscores that automation will not only enhance efficiency, but will minimize on human discretion and opportunities for malpractice. Honorable members, Honorable Speaker, regarding accountability of officers, members have rightly called for firm action against those responsible for the lapses. The committee wishes to emphasize that accountability in central public finance management and all officers found culpable must be dealt with in accordance with the law and existing regulation. Honorable Speaker, some members have also raised the issue of capacity building and facilitation of revenue staff. This committee acknowledges this concern and recommends that the county treasury invest in training and equipping officers to enhance efficiency and professionalism in revenue collection and management. Mr. Speaker, I therefore urge this Honorable House to adopt this report. More importantly, to ensure strict implementation of its recommendations within the stipulated timelines, and the committee will continue to exercise its oversight role to ensure compliance and progress. And Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply and move that this House adopts the report of the PIC-PAC Committee. Thank you. I beg to reply.
The motion adoption of the report of PIC-PAC Committee on examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kisumu County Revenue. Kisumu County Receiver of Revenue for the year 2024-25 have been moved, seconded, debated. I want to now put a question, and I put that as many of the opinion that the motion adoption of the report of PIC-PAC Committee on examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kisumu County Receiver of Revenue for the year 2024-25 be adopted. Say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. Nay. Submit. And the motion adoption of the report of the PIC-PAC Committee on examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kisumu County Receiver of Revenue for year 2024-25 have been adopted today, Wednesday, the 18th of March, 2026 at 15:32 hours. And I want to direct that the recommendation of the said report be communicated to the relevant departments for action, and the implementation committee also to follow up on the same. Next order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. There is no AOB in the order paper.
Honorable members, you can be upstanding. There being no any other business in the order paper, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, the 19th of March, 2026 at 2:30 p.m.